Hey guys, I'm Timmy James, aka Wong Kong. This is a recording of my spoken word I did a little bit while back called Battalion 19. I performed it at my church in I think February or January, but I never put a recording of it on the internet, so I decided I would. Yeah, I got to use my computer because I don't have it memorized right now. I decided to do this really short term. Yeah, let's go. There's a battle going on out there, and I want you to take part. Now I know how it looks, but take heart, for though we walk through this life getting ripped apart every time we fall, it's just an opportunity for us to get caught by pierced hands that are there to lift us back up. So I want you to be my backup, to stand firm so that you never back up, but to plunge into this battle like you're a Mack truck. But before you do, you should know it is not an easy road. In fact, it's more like closing your eyes and walking blindly into the unknown, because we know not what the enemy holds. But that can't stop us. We must be bold, for these terrorist attacks aren't all fine. And the duty ain't on mine. You think a war is bad? Just look online, because killing someone is sinful. But I've thought of a worse crime. You see, it's in our schools that we find kids being taught that they're monkeys put together by time. And in high schools like mine, we're being taught to obey and never use our minds. But never mind, because sitting in class for 7 hours a day is gonna make me lose my mind. So I just spit these rhymes and pray that like cruise missiles they find the targets my general is aiming at, because his will, not mine. Now speaking of weaponry, let me tell you about the weapons we get when we reppin' heat. There's the sword of the spirit. The tongue cannon is our heavy artillery. I've been trained in martial as well as language arts, and I got a leather-bound breastplate protecting my heart. Now, many types of conflict don't actually involve contact. But for this battle, we must use hand-to-hand combat. For though it is us on the field of battle, it is through his power and might that we would ever have any hope of winning this fight. For though I have strength in comparison, I have not. For it was through his strength of will that we were bought. Yes, he bought every soul in this room. Every last one. And so I use my breath to fight for my king until my very last one, 'cause his strength is sufficient. And there ain't no shortage, so I don't have to worry about trying to be efficient. Because of his strength in me, I don't even care if you're 6 foot, 7 foot, or 8 foot bunch. With the strength of my God, I could eat demons for lunch. I don't even care if you're looking like Goliath. You can't stop me. I am the Lord's lion, and he could leave you lying, crying out to God, because he's revealed to you his glory simply through the explanation of the truest love story. But if you're not careful, these battles get quite intense and extremely gory. But we can be Ezekiel's and speak life into these dry bones, or we can keep quiet, stay silent, refuse to fight, and go home. So, I'm recruiting for an army. And to enter, you must die. To sin. And be raised again in new life. Ready and willing to walk in the light, but even more willing to walk through the night to get to the morning sun. Quit crying, stop your mourning, son, for though we must remember his death, we can't just mourn the death of the son. We must rejoice in his risen and soon coming king. And with the strength that comes from his joy, we must fight off death's sting. So I say, I am recruiting for an army. And to enter, you must die to sin and be raised again in new life. Ready and willing to walk in the light, but even more willing to stand and scream into the darkness, saying, I do not fear your evil might. For they say, hell hath no fury like insert group here. Well, I say, hell hath no fury at all. And because I have nothing to fear, I will not hesitate to answer the call. For few truly hear it, 'cause few are truly listening. So listen now, I say I am recruiting for an army, and to enter you must die to sin, and be raised again in new life, ready to walk in the light, ready to walk through the night, and ready to experience his wonder and might. You can ask any one of the youth who's ever been to Generation 1-9. In fact, they were the first to join the army I'm calling Battalion 1-9. So I say, I am recruiting for an army, and to enter you must die to sin, and be raised again in new life, ready and willing to walk in the light, walk through the night, experience his might, and of course you must be ready to stand and fight for what you believe. I hear the sounds of battle off in the distance, and when I speak of callings, this is mine. So soldiers, welcome to the spiritual force for good. Battalion 1-9. Amen. Thanks for listening. Expect more in the future.